guys. Sri Lankan Semi, retired with mom and dad. Happy New Year 2025. Wow. Cannot believe it. Coming up on 3 years that I'm here retired in Sri Lanka. February will be 3 years since I left Korea. And 2025 is my retirement year. I am going to retire finally. Semi-retire. I'll never stop working. I'm going to continue working because I need something to do, and who knows what opportunities I might want to have in the future. So you always got to have money, saving for a rainy day. I've got money in the bank, but never have too much. But when I hit a magic number, I'll probably stop, take 3 months off, and then come back and work, and take 3 months off and come back and work. I have a job where I can do that. It'll be easy. So today we're going to talk about Sri Lankan opportunities. So what can you do here in Sri Lanka? So people want to come here and retire. Then they're bringing all this money in, or they want to come here and invest. So what can they do, right? Well, here's the thing. If you're earning money outside of Sri Lanka, like I am, and then you want to bring it here and then invest it here, you need to really think about it. Okay? You need to look at your risk factors. You need to look at everything. Now, Darren always says to me, you got to be careful, etc., etc. I'm a Sri Lankan citizen, so my taxes, my exporting money is much different than, say, a citizen of another country who isn't a Sri Lankan citizen. So I'm only going to talk about my experiences, okay? You need to take financial advice from someone who you trust, not me, okay? So be very cognizant of that. I am talking about what I have done and what I have seen can be done here. All right, so first thing is, so I'll explain it. I'm a Sri Lankan citizen, Canadian expat. So as I said, I've been here 3 years. I earn money in South Korea, which is a high salary. What the average worker makes here in a month, I do in a couple of days. So I make quite a bit of money and I spend very little because I live here. My expenses are practically nil. Going out for dinner, buying the odd thing here and there, buying Burger King pizza, healthcare, I pay out of pocket because it is cheaper. My monthly costs are around $200, not that much. So what am I doing right now to make money in Sri Lanka? Well, because I do spend Sri Lankan rupees. So I need Sri Lankan rupees to spend. When I buy airline tickets or anything high cost, like anything over $100, I will use my Korean credit card. And I will spend the money that I earn in Korea. So my flight tickets, my hotels, my computer equipment, my internet service that I spend $80 a month on here in Sri Lanka, I use my Korean credit card. If I'm buying things online, I'll use my Korean credit card. Now, eventually I'm going to switch that to Sri Lanka, but that'll probably be a year or two away. So what I do is I'm diversified. I bring money over from from Korea into Sri Lanka because eventually I cannot keep my money in Korea because my visa will expire, and not having the visa there is difficult to, and not being there, it's difficult to manage money there unless I give power of attorney to, or I give the money over to Lady Sarah and let her and ask her to do it. But that, you know, that's maybe something we'll discuss when we meet up. I trust her enough to do it. So I am invested in the Sri Lankan stock market, and as of today, December 31st, at the close of the market, my fourth quarter profit is 40%. What I invested in August has earned me 40% in 3 months. One of my stocks did 80%, banking stock. I wish I had done more. I wish. We always say that when it goes up. But all of my stocks did double digits. Like my lowest stock was 18%, my highest stock was 80%, and they were diversified. 5 securities across the board: banking, alcohol, tobacco, telecom, and oil. Those are the 5 securities I bought. So I also have money in term deposits, which are paying about 10%. 10% a year for 2 years, locked in. Now, the securities I invested in also pay dividends, so I've already got those dividends. And I have another investment that's going to come up in the first quarter, is an IPO. So that's going to pay me out 20 to 40% plus dividends in a energy company. One of the largest IPOs in Sri Lankan history is coming up. So they were supposed to happen in October, but it never happened because of some legal issue, but they were giving me 10.5% interest on my money, and they already paid it out for the last quarter. So I'm every month I'm getting money in my bank account from dividends, from interest, whatever. And then I bought gold. Lot of gold, and that is sitting in a safety deposit box. And in 2 years, I'll go back to the guy I bought it from, which is a gold wholesaler, and for 1.5%, he'll buy it back from me. Now, I didn't pay VAT on it because I'm not taking it out of the country. Certificate of authenticity, no receipt, no tax receipt, because I'm going to bring it back to him and sell it to him. And it's at the gold bullion exchange. So, you know, this is trustworthy. This is a guy who was recommended to me by another friend who's done business with him for 20 years. So this is not fly by night or some scam or something like that. It's legit. But I'm minimizing my taxes, right? Because I don't want to export it. I could, but it's not enough to export to make it worth my while. To pay the tax, 18% in Sri Lanka, and then export it, pay the tax when I land at the country of destination, and then convert it, I won't make any money. So there's no reason to do it. Gold is very cheap in Sri Lanka, very expensive in other countries. I could make, on 1 gram of gold, I can make about $50 US. The price difference between Sri Lanka and Thailand, it's about $50 US. But transporting it, there's a limit to exporting gold in Sri Lanka, and then you have to pay. If you're going to go over that limit, I don't know. I've never looked at it because I never bothered with it. So I don't know what the limit is, and I don't know what the taxes are or whatever, or how much you're allowed. Hey guys, Sri Lankan Savvy, thanks for joining. I want to take a quick moment and talk to you about the channel. I really appreciate you taking the time to support the channel, clicking like, sharing, and commenting. But I need to ask you for a little bit of help and helping me get the channel up and running a little bit better. Please click the link down below if you want to support the channel and buy me a coconut. What I will do is I will match the dollars and I will go out and buy fresh fruit and vegetables from local farmers on the roadside. You guys have seen me do that before. I'll continue doing that by supporting the local economy. Passively, if you would like to, you can just watch a commercial. I am monetized, so if you watch an ad all the way through, a couple, that would really help the channel. And even more so, click the link of the ad and let it pop up on your computer. Leave it open for a few minutes. That would really help the channel passively. And one last thing, if you could please just put a comment, an emoji, one word saying hello, saying hi, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Holidays, Happy Vesak, Happy Poya, whatever it is, whenever it is, I truly appreciate it. Sri Lankan Sammy, loving you all. We'll see you all on the other side. Real estate. Real estate is big right now because of the market, but it's flooded with properties that are just haven't been properly taken care of, or properties that were overinflated prior to COVID, like luxury condos or resort locations that aren't worth it, because the next pandemic that comes around, you're going to lose money again. But there is still, real estate is always a good investment. And where I would do it is in the mid-market, family apartments. The mid-priced family apartment. You buy an apartment block of 6 apartments, you live in the top one, and you rent out all the other ones. That's golden right there, because people always need a place to live. You don't want to rely on expats. You don't want to rely on tourists. You want to rely on the people who have a job, who work every day, have 2 kids in school, etc., etc. You want to rely on those people, because that's where the money is. Exports. Sri Lanka is famous for its exports, and if you come from that type of a business, you can do well here, because it's all done by contacts. Fish, food, like vegetables, fruits, cinnamon, coconut, precious metals. But you have to have the contacts before you get here. You can't come here and then expect to just jump into the business, because there are people here who have been doing it for, generations, and you're not going to break into that business. It's also very, very, what's the word? Family? Like, those, they're all connected, right? Labor export. So if, let's say, for example, one of the things I wanted to do that I might still do, it's too much work, is exporting labor to Korea. So Korea is in desperate need of underskilled labor in the factories, in the farms, in fishing. The problem is that the visa situation there is very hard. The process is very complex. And Sri Lanka is mired with a lot of, not contempt, but aversion to visa promises, because there have been so many scams in the past. So a lot of people are wary. And again, I want to do it. That was my plan even 10 years ago. The problem is it takes a lot of work, and I'm not interested in it right now. I make more money sitting on my desk teaching English with less stress and less drama and less work. I'm very lazy at this point in my life. 10 years ago, 15 years ago, maybe I would have done it. Absolutely, I would have done it. you know, the hustle. I don't have the hustle anymore. But if you do, that's a definite opportunity. Yeah. So those are some of the things that you can do. Importing, see, I'm not too cognizant of it. Like Darren is importing from China, I think it is, and he's got a solar business going, which is getting funds from the government and stuff like that. So if you can hook up with a government aid ministry that is promoting growth in Sri Lanka, development, that's an area that is big right now. That's the buzzword right now, development. Digital development, online development, exporting Sri Lankan products, importing tourists. So anything tourist related that promotes tourism, anything that exports the overabundance of Sri Lankan products, if you can maximize that potential, you have a business here. So those are the things that you can do, the opportunities that you can do here. So if you're a hustler, you can absolutely kill it here as long as you have the connections. Yeah. Number one, you got to speak the language here. You do. That's very important. You got to get the visa. You got to get the business visa. You got to make political connections or business connections. That's the way things work here. That's the way it works in any country, right? You can't just come in here and say, oh, I'm going to start a coconut plantation and export coconuts. It doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. I mean, if let's say I have an idea to start a car wash, because that is huge here. They like to keep their cars clean. There's 3 different kinds of car washes. You can do just the bay, and they come in and they wash their own car and dry their own car, vacuum their own car, put the quarters in the machine. Then you can have the automated, where the car goes through the tunnel type of thing, right? So there's different levels of car wash you can do. Would I start from scratch? Probably not. I would start with buying an existing business, and then I would run that for a couple of years and then upgrade. So I would buy the bays where you hand wash this with the wand your own car. It's a coin operated thing, minimal labor required, just maintenance and maybe security, which is cheap here. So that's what I would do. I wouldn't start from scratch a business here. It's just too many hurdles, too much red tape, too much politics, too much. You can't get the products, you can't get the things. Like, for example, my smartwatch needs to get a repair, and they said, well, we don't have the batteries here, so I got to take it to Thailand to get fixed because they don't have the parts. They can't import anything, so that's a huge problem. So yeah, what do you guys think? Is that something that you think is important? You think we can work on it together? If you have any ideas, let me know. Okay, click the link down below, support the channel, comment, let me know what you think. Sri Lankan Semi, retired with mom and dad. We'll see you all on the other side.